Hello there, my beautiful Scorpio signs. This is Rachael with Dark Knight Coaching. Sorry for the squeaky chair. So today's video is a traditional Celtic cross spread that I pull, and there's usually about 10 cards. Sometimes clarifiers come flying out, and I just take those two as the energy calls for it. The song that I was guided to listen to today was AMO by Rihanna. So some of you might be, bilingual, or maybe you are thinking about taking some sort of trip to South America or Spain or something along those lines. But there's a lot of energy here that is interesting, but a lot of energy that's kind of about cleansing the old versions of yourself and really diving into this new chapter, this new almost like exploration type of energy here. It's whatever's happening or whatever's going to happen, wherever you feel like you're guided to travel to, or whatever retreat you're maybe feeling or thinking about taking, I feel like is a divine confirmation and a test of your will and of your strength. So I'm going to dive right into the tarot here, Scorpio. And if something happens to resonate, please make sure you smash that like button, because it helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. And if you feel guided, you can book a one-on-one coaching session with me or a personalized tarot reading. You can do that on my website. The link for that is in the description box below. But right away, you have the Strength card. This is Leo energy, so maybe you're making a plan for travel in Leo time frame. But I do feel like this is more about perseverance than anything, because sometimes when we're tested through different trials from the universe, it's kind of like, are we going to go all the way and commit to whatever this thing is, or are we going to not do something that we feel divinely guided to? And I feel like you're really tapping into that inner knowing at this time, because you have the High Priestess here in your reading in the recent past, and I feel like you're really tapping into your intuition, and you're really following the little hints, the little breadcrumbs that spirit is dropping to you, and you're really tapped in. Now this reading is a little bit out of order, so maybe that's how your life feels at this time. Like you were maybe planning for this trip, but you didn't want it to happen so soon, or you didn't want it to happen so late, but things are divinely timed right now to progress you forward in a way that's not what you're traditionally used to, or a way that's a little unorthodox, because I feel like there is something here that's pushing you forward, propelling you, whether you really like it or not. And it's going to bring a lot of inspiration, or there's a lot of creativity attached to this, or whatever this energy is. It's like finding your spark again is the feeling that I'm getting here. So there is progression happening, but there's also at the same time there's also a closing out of old stuff. So it's like sometimes when we transition into our new lives, or we transition out of old lifestyle habits, or as we're like, I don't want to say eliminating, but like as we're kind of shedding old skin, we kind of shed people too, and situations and places even. And I feel like you're simultaneously like shedding the old skin while really like living in the new. So it's like you're in this kind of in between worlds, but you have one foot halfway into one world and one foot halfway into the past. And it can be like this purgatory, but it's like you're still finishing up things from the past as you're moving forward. And that can be a very confusing feeling if we're more so used to like closing out a cycle and before a new one begins. It's like you're simultaneously doing both of those things at once. And I feel like it's very heavy energy, which is why spirit is really asking for your perseverance at this time too. Now, the world being here is about closing cycles and ending some sort of old mindset or old version of yourself. The Hierophant is here in your present energy as well. And that to me is Taurus energy, but it really means that you are learning something new. Sorry, I was getting interrupted, but I feel like that's part of the message here. So like things are being interrupted, like whatever flow that you're used to, it's just every time you try to take a step in a certain direction, there's an interruption. And I feel like that's for a reason, because I feel like your guides or spirit or your higher self, whatever you want to think is helping you on your path, on your journey, is trying to redirect you in a certain way. The Hierophant being here is about traditional value systems and beliefs and that sort of things. It can also be a card of study. So maybe you're trying to take up some new hobby or throwing yourself into learning something new, some sort of craft thing is what I'm getting here. I saw those 2 keys at the bottom, but they almost look like scissors to me, which is interesting. But I do feel like there is something here about making a commitment to yourself, in regards to finance, for sure, because the King of Pentacles is here. So maybe you're just trying to be more financially aware or financially smart at this time, which, who isn't in this economy? But with the King of Pentacles being in your near future, I feel like you're really focused on business aspects or your home life, or really like incorporating some security when it comes to being a provider. Now, what your guides want you to do at this time is celebrate yourself, celebrate your victories, celebrate your successes, even if they seem maybe like small or not as grand as you hoped. I feel like there's still cause for celebration here, because not many people do what you do. Not many people take the initiative and really, throw themselves into learning new things. Most people are pretty much stuck in the cycle or a pattern of repeat, and they live the rest of their lives that way. But people see you as seeing things from a different perspective. Maybe they see you as being pretty friendly or fast to communicate your needs and your wants and that sort of energy, because 8 of Wands is about quick moving energy, communication. And then the Hanged Man is about seeing things from a different angle, a different perspective. So maybe you try not to be like biased when it comes to any situation, because you're coming from a place of non-judgment, which is a great place to come from. Now, in your hopes and fears, you have the 5 of Swords. This is an interesting card, because I feel like you're having some sort of mental conflict, and maybe it's a conflict when it comes to making some commitment to going on a retreat or to really spend the time and money and effort on yourself. But I feel like it's a little bit of a false fear, because sometimes when we're so used to doing for everyone else, we kind of forget about ourselves, or we put ourselves on the back burner. And I feel like you're mentally trying to shift that, and you're trying to shed the old ways, because you have the Death card here in your potential outcome. Now, when I see the Death card here in the potential outcome, it's not like the best card, of this whole reading. It's actually sometimes an ominous card, but I feel like it's more of a death of a mindset that you're leaving behind, because in your subconscious energy here, you have the Queen of Cups. So it's like you're shedding your old version of love, or whatever love meant to you. And maybe that's your motherly instincts or your mother wounds that you're healing here. And I feel like it's coming from a place of growth, and that's the best place. I'm visualizing like a corn stalk, and when they dry out, it's like you still can harvest the corn, it's just the stalk is dried. So I don't know why that's coming up, but that might be a significant message for someone there. Now, that's what I have for you, Scorpio, when it comes to the tarot. If that helped, please smash the like button. It helps my channel grow. And then I'm going to dive right into the oracle cards, because a lot of these feel pretty cohesive, and it'll make sense why I keep talking about a vacation or a retreat of some sort, because retreat number 33 came out, and then you have quest as well. So sometimes we go on these pilgrimage type of, it's almost like a mission, but it's really not. It's like a pilgrimage quest to test ourselves, to see if we'll go all the way for our higher knowing, for our higher self, for our own benefit. And a lot of times, especially mothers, if you've been a doormat or something, you might be fine doing other things for everyone else, but then when it's time for you to step up and do something for yourself, it might be a challenge. And with this quest card here, this is tied to your throat chakra, which is tied to your authenticity. It's also tied to your communication style. And again, I think 8 of Wands is like you're changing your communication style, whatever way that you tried to maybe iterate your feelings in the past wasn't very effective, or maybe it just didn't work out in the way you thought when you would say things, or people didn't listen. And I feel like you're shifting that sort of energy. Now, 33 retreat says, retreat means withdrawing from what can harm you as a way to keep yourself whole. When you retreat, you hide yourself away so that you won't lose yourself, and offering no resistance and creating friction. Retreating bears fruit in small and conspicuous ways. And what must you do to stay safe and whole? Now, this card I took as retreat, as in going on a spiritual quest, because the quest is there. But, for someone, it is about retreating into oneself. But at the same time, sometimes you can retreat into oneself to do that reflexive work and that healing, especially when there's an ego death or something along those lines, which I do feel like might be happening here, because you're shedding some variation of you from the past that wasn't working. And maybe you were someone who did retreat in the past to keep the peace. And when you're keeping the peace, ask yourself, whose peace are you keeping? And if it's not your peace, then, why not speak up about an injustice? Why not say something if it's hurting people? Or, if people, this is the funny thing about life, if people don't want you to talk about something bad that they did, then maybe they should really reevaluate what it is that they're doing. And a lot of the times, people present themselves in a way that makes them look good. Who doesn't want to do that, But it may not be always coming from a place of truth. So I feel like right now, your quest, your journey, if you're not taking a trip, is to actively step into your authentic spirit, into this authentic vibration, and really, truly, put your money where your mouth is, and put, I don't know, how can I say it? It's like, your word is your honor, but it's also the actions you take. So if you're not someone who does what they say that they're going to do, then how can you have trust, or how can you build respect or anything on that sort of foundation? So keep that in mind. And I say respect because this one poked out at me, and it's the respect card. It says, you value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love. And everyone is on their own spiritual journey. So, the timing of whatever's happening for you and whatever happens for someone else is going to be different. It's just how life works. And sometimes we're spiritually ready to ascend, and sometimes we're not. Now, don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Again, didn't I just say Leo energy? Yeah, strength, Leo energy, August. Something about August is significant. But I do feel like it's more of, don't let even as you go along and you learn things and you go on this quest, and maybe you do some really good introspective work, and if you're in this Hierophant energy of learning and expanding, be cautious with whom you share that information with, or who you share your time with or energy, because a lot of people are not going to be receptive to this changed version of you, because it's like a different person than they're used to, and maybe they're seeing you in a different perspective, and sometimes that makes people uncomfortable, or it triggers them because they've not done the healing. And when someone else grows, a lot of the times people will be envious or jealous of that person's expansion, because it triggers like a inferior feeling in them. And it seems kind of silly to me, because I'm a person who I don't really have like a jealous bone in my body. I don't know why. I just never have. I've always been typically pretty happy for someone's success, but people sometimes get triggered by someone else's success, and I think that's kind of a silly concept, but to each their own. So I feel like you are on your path, though, to harmony, because the universe card is here. It says, be in harmony with the universe. And then you are always mindful and live only within each moment you have. So I do feel like your understanding of like the fleetingness of being human and that sort of energy. But you also have the book on why. So it's like maybe you're questioning, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? And when you go on this quest, you might find the answers to what you're seeking. But chances are, even if you don't go on a trip, you can always find the answers within. Like, they are always housed within you. It's just a matter of like unlocking the code or unlocking the keys. And typically I have personally found that I didn't get answers when I went on my pilgrimage in the way that I was anticipating. I actually got more answers from doing energetic healing, somatic therapy, and cleansing almost all of the people in my life that were not serving me. And it really took things to a different level, and I have a very much so changed perspective on life now, because I appreciate and respect people who are integrous, who are loyal, who can see things in the way that I do. And I feel like that's kind of going to be more enlightening for you than anything. Now, the third eye card I have for you, Scorpio, is Act. It says, is there a person in your life who presents as good and helpful but doesn't have your best interests at heart? What tells you that? And use your intuition to lead you towards stronger, healthier relationships. That's weird. I didn't even read that card before I got on here, and it still was pertinent to what I was talking about. So if you feel like somebody's being a phony, and if you feel like someone is not authentic, chances are that's your higher self, that's your inner knowing, like having intuition and reading on that person. It's an energetic thing. So you might even just be picking up on that. Now, the last card I have for you, Scorpio, it says the Kiss. For immediately when I got this, I was thinking of the kiss of death. So it's like maybe you were in a relationship or you were in a connection with someone, and like there was just something that triggered you about that person, something they said, something they didn't say. Sometimes the best liars are the people who omit the truth. Like they don't lie in the normal sense of lying. They lie by working around lying. And that's like, to me, that's almost like, it's almost the worst form of lying, because it's like, it's the coward's way out. And then when and if you confront them about something, they might say to you like, well, I didn't lie. You never asked. And it's still a lie or a betrayal or a deceit, no matter how they want to sugarcoat it. And I feel like for whatever reason, there's like a kiss of death here. So something had to really be the straw that broke the camel's back for you. And I feel like there's no coming back from that, because you have self-worth, because you have respect for yourself enough to know that someone who does betray you, someone that does lie to you, someone that manipulates others and gaslights and goes behind your back and tells lies and rumors to save face, to protect their peace or whatever it is, those people doing those things are doing so because they have such unhealed shame within them that it's kind of sad, really, when you think about it and when you look at them, because it's really a reflection of how they feel about themselves in the lies and in the deceit that they do. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Like it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. So there you have it, Scorpio. Hopefully this video helped. If it did, please smash that like button. It helps my channel grow. I thank you. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.